So the draw for Rome has just come out for the ladies, and it's looking pretty interesting, pretty evenly spread between the seeds. No one seems to have too much of a nightmarish draw at this stage. But let's go to the withdrawals. So Krejcikova, she's pulled out. She hasn't played for a while, which is a little bit of a shame. She's been struggling with, I think, a back injury. But let's go to the top of the draw because there are some big names that are playing. All right, so top of the draw, we've got Sabalenka, the number 1 seed. She gets a bye in the first round. All 32 seeds get a bye in the first round in these tournaments. She'll take on the winner of Yastremska and Potapova in the second round. Then you got Pavlyuchenkova versus Bolter. Winner of that will take on the number 31 seed Kenin in the second round. Then you got the number 24 seed Fernandez. She'll take on either a qualifier or the wild card Grant in the second round. Then you got Eala taking on Kostyuk. Crazy first round. Winner of that will take on the number 14 seed Kazatkina in the second round. So, look, there's a lot of big names in this section. A lot of big players in this section. Of course, Sabalenka, you've got to watch out for her. You've got to watch out for Kazatkina as well. Can play on the clay. Very good on clay. You've also got to watch out for Fernandez and Kenin, both proven clay court players as well. But Eala, you've got to watch out for her. And you've also got to watch out for Kostyuk. Just had a really good week last week and also pushed Sabalenka pretty hard in Madrid. So Kostyuk, definitely another player you've got to watch out for in that section. Next section of the draw, you've got the number 11 seed Rybakina. She gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either Uchiyama or Lise in the second round. Then you got Andreescu versus the wild card Ugesi. Winner of that will take on the number 20 seed Vekic in the second round. Then you got number 26 seed Fresh. She'll take on either Azarenka or Osorio in the second round. Then you got Siniakova versus Danilovic. Winner of that match will take on the number 8 seed Zheng in the second round. So this is an interesting section. It feels like this section are full of players that kind of need some form because we haven't seen much of these players on the clay so far. Because you've got to watch out for Zheng. Got to watch out for Rybakina as well. Got to watch out for Vekic as well. But then you got to watch out for Uchiyama. She had a really good week in Madrid. Next part of the draw, you got the number 4 seed Gauff. She will get a bye in the first round. She'll take in either Zacchini or a qualifier in the second round. Then you got another qualifier versus Bencic. Winner of that will take on the number 32 seed Lynette in the second round. Then you got the number 21 seed Alexandrova. She'll take on either a qualifier or Raducanu in the second round. Then you got Stefanini versus Kudermetova. Winner of that will take on the number 15 seed Anisimova in the second round. This section feels kind of stacked. Feels like a little bit tough for Coco, but you've got to watch out for Gauff, of course, in this section. Also Anisimova. She has made a run at the French Open before, back in 2019. You've also got to watch out for Bencic. She is obviously on the comeback still, but has been really, really good in her comeback. Also, watch out for Alexandrova as well. She's been very, very dangerous on all surfaces. But also Raducanu. Watch out for her. She's actually beaten Alexandrova and Anisimova this year, so she might be able to get some more wins over them and maybe meet Gauff in the fourth round potentially. Next part of the draw, you've got the number 10 seed Navarro. She gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either Vondrousova or Wong in the second round. So Vondi's back. Great to see. Then you got 2 qualifiers going at it. Winner of that qualifier battle will take on the number 22 seed Towson in the second round. Then you got the number 30 seed Noskova. She will take on either Biril or Cartel in the second round. Then you got a qualifier versus Tomova. Winner of that will take on the number 7 seed Andreeva in the second round. So, interesting little section again. It's not there's some names there that have been good on all surfaces this year, but obviously you got to watch out for Andreeva. Also got to watch out for Navarro as well. Can play on all surfaces. Definitely got to watch out for Towson and Noskova as well. Very dangerous players, but I'd be keeping an eye on Vondrousova. Did make a French Open final early in her career. Coming back from injury, I don't know. Maybe keep an eye on her on these clay courts because maybe she can make a bit of a run if she can get through that second round against Navarro. All right, bottom half of the draw, we've got number 6 seed Paolini. She'll take on either Pedoni or Sun in the second round. Then you got Kvitova taking on Pegula. Winner of that will take on the number 27 seed Jabeur in the second round. Then you got Ostapenko, the 17th seed. She'll take on either Shrimkova or Kessler in the second round. Then you got Bronzetti taking on Sevastova. Winner of that will take on the number 12 seed Mukova in the second round. Fun part of the draw, I feel. Feels like a lot of... there's a lot of names that you could put through into the quarterfinals in this section. But you've got to watch out for Paolini, who didn't play well this time last year. Has a lot of points she can make up for last year. Got to watch out for Mukova. Didn't play Madrid because of illness, but she's back. Also got to watch out for Jabeur. We know how good she's been on the clay in the time. And also Ostapenko, who had a disappointing week last week, but is in form after what happened in Stuttgart. Next part of the draw, you got number 13 seed Schneider. She'll take on either Dollarhide or Castello in the second round. Then you got Parks versus Christian. Winner of that will take on the number 23 seed Putin Saber in the second round. Then you got the number 25 seed Mertens. She'll take on either Lemens or Zara Zuha in the second round. Then you got Kruger taking on a qualifier. Winner of that match will take on the number 3 seed Pegula in the second round. So, interesting section again. Maybe not as open as some of the other sections we just talked about. Obviously, got to watch out for Pegula. Got to watch out for Schneider. Also, watch out for Mertens. She pushed Sabalenka, got a set off her last week. Then you've got the next part of the draw with Keys, the number 5 seed. She'll take on either Gracheva or a qualifier in the second rounds. Then you've got Stearns versus Brancaccio. Winner of that will take on the number 28 seed Kalinskaya in the second round. Then you've got the number 18 seed Adajmaya. She'll take on either Buzkova or Sharif in the second round. Then you've got Irani taking on Osaka. Winner of that will take on the number 9 seed Badosa in the second round. That first round between Osaka and Irani, crazy good. You got to watch out for Keys. You got to watch out for Badosa if she plays. Got to watch out for Dajmaya. She can play well on clay. Got to watch out for Kalinskaya. If she is healthy, she is dangerous. But also got to watch out for Osaka. In very good form and confidence is high. Also watch out for Irani. Like I said, fiery customer, especially playing at home. But this section of the draw, really, really fun. We could get some really good matchups early in the tournament in that section. And the bottom part of the draw, we've got the number 16 seed Svitolina. Gets a bye in the first round. She'll take on either Moniro or Lee in the second round. Then you've got 2 qualifiers going at it. Winner of that match will take on the number 19 seed Samsonova in the second round. Then you've got the 29 seed Colin. She'll take on either a qualifier or Paulina Kudermetova in the second round. Then you've got Cocchiaretto taking on Evanescen. Winner of that will take on the number 2 seed Iga Swiatek, and also the defending champion Swiatek. So, nicer draw than maybe previous tournaments for Swiatek. We know how dangerous her draw has been. She has been doing well despite the draw being tough. You've obviously got to watch out for Swiatek, got to watch out for Svitolina, been in great form over the last couple of tournaments. Got to watch out for Samsonova. She can, catch fire at times. And also Collins, even though she hasn't been around much on the clay. She did make the semis here last year, so definitely confidence at this event. So it's going to be interesting. Swiatek's draw, we've kind of talked about it a lot, that she's had a lot of tough draws this year, but this one seems a little bit more manageable, especially on the slower clay. With that Svitolina matchup, that could be the tough one. So there it is. That is the draw for Rome, and it doesn't feel like anyone really got a terrible draw. Maybe Gauff got the hardest draw out of the top 4 seeds, but it feels like, it's pretty evenly spread, amongst the top 4. Whereas this time last week, we're talking about how bad Swiatek's draw was and how hard it was. And when you look at how the draw actually played out, it turned out that she had to play a lot of the players that we expected her to play when we projected out the seeds. And Sabalenka's draw, as we expected when Madrid's draw came out, that it was a little bit easier. But it doesn't feel like that this week. It feels like everybody's got their challenges. Swiatek's got to play Collins maybe, or maybe even Svitolina early in the tournament. Gauff's got to take on maybe Andreeva in a quarterfinal. Maybe she takes on Bencic again, or maybe Anisimova in a 4th round. So there's some challenges there. Obviously, Sabalenka, she's got to take on possibly Eala in the tournament early on, and maybe Kenin in a 3rd round. So that's not easy. And, Pegula, she's also got her challenges, possibly against, someone like Schneider in a 4th round, which could be a little awkward. So, feels pretty evenly spread, though. Everyone's going to have some interesting matches early on the tournament, but let me know in the comments below. Who's going to win Rome? I think, Swiatek being the defending champion, but not being in the best form, or at least not being in the form we expect her to be at this time of year, is a little bit scary. She hasn't won a title for almost 12 months now as well, and that was at Roland Garros the last time she won a trophy. But there it is. That is the draw for Rome. It starts tomorrow.